Everyone, so I recently picked up this palette, which no one on the internet is talking about. No, I'm just kidding. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill collaboration. Everyone on YouTube has been talking about this thing. It's beautiful. It's totally worth the hype. It's like, I don't know, $38, which is an amazing value for all of these colors. It is rather intimidating and overwhelming because there are a lot of shades, and some of them, like this corner over here, is it's a lot of colors. So what I thought I would do is kind of do an impromptu, easy, soft, I think very wearable look. Mimi agrees. So keep watching and I'll walk you through how I did my eye look. And please ignore the dog noise, which I promise will cease as soon as I start doing this tutorial. And let's get to it. I have all my makeup on except for my eye makeup. And we're gonna pretend that my hair is not getting done tomorrow. So we're gonna pretend like I don't have 3 inches of roots going on. And yeah, let's get started. So my whole face is done, all my face makeup, like I just said. And I'm gonna list all that in the description box. So let's get on with the eyes. So this is my all-time favorite eyeshadow primer. I always come back to this. It's the Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer. Really basic, super easy to use. I just like how it feels on the eye. I've tried the Milani one. It's fine. I just feel like this is a little smoother on the eye, a little more opaque. And as far as like evening out the skin tone. And I feel like the Milani one is a little sticky, which, you know, it depends on what you're using your primer for. For me, I don't have a problem with shadows fading on me so much as I just obviously am very pale and my lids are translucent and I have a lot of veins popping through or showing through my skin. So to me, it's just to even out the skin tone of my eye. I don't need it as much to help with the longevity of shadows. So that's why I use a primer. And to give me an even canvas. So that's why I like it, and it's filthy and well loved, as you can see here. Okay, let's get on to the hero of the show. Actually, let's not. Before we move on to eyes, let's talk about lips. I am wearing something I just picked up this week, actually. It's one of the new YSL matte lip stains. I believe this is in the shade 11. I can't remember the actual word, but name for it. I think it's Nude Rose. But I know it's number 11, and it's been on a good 4 hours. I'm just gonna put a little gloss over it just because I feel like it's a little dry looking anyway. And this is the Clarins Instant Lip Perfector in the shade Toffee Pink. It really isn't gonna add any color, but a little glisten. Okay, now let's get on to this guy. Yes, you can do dramatic, very crazy stuff, especially if you're going for this, you know, corner over here, but we're gonna keep things very grown up, very as understated as we can get. Let's not say understated, let's say neutral. Let's say neutral, because I'm not really an understated kind of person. So every tutorial that I have seen on YouTube using this palette has started with the same color. I'm gonna start with it as well. I'm not gonna refer to any shade names on this because this sounds like such an excuse. Rowdy, my 1-year-old Weimaraner, ate the packaging that listed the names of all the shadows. I swear to God, that's what he did. So I'm gonna just tell you which one. It's the top row, third one in, right here. That's the shade I'm gonna use. Fluffy brush, doesn't matter what kind. I'm using a no-name brand brush in the crease, and we're just gonna slap that in the crease, back and forth. I like to put it a little above and a little below the crease. I'm not really precise with it. This just helps. With other colors we're gonna put down, I go all the way into the corner there, the inner corner, and I come straight out. I'm not doing a rainbow shape. I'm doing more of a straight line with a slight bend, but not much. This is because I have small eyes and I have hooded eyes, and if I bring it down, I'm dragging my eye shape down. I already have, you know, little downturned eyes. I don't need to help it look any more downturned and sad. Next color is the same row as this bright purple, but do not fear, I'm not going for that. It's the third one in. This is such a versatile shade. I've been wearing this all by itself, just all over the lid, blended up into the crease with a little bronzer in the crease. It's just a really easy one shade color, but this is what's going on the lid. No idea what it's actually called. If you wanted to put it on the lid like that, I would use a fluffy brush, but because I'm using this with a lot of other shades, I'm actually gonna pack it on with a flat shader brush. In this case, I'm using my favorite flat shader brush, which is a MAC 239, and I'm just gonna pack this on the lid. It's a little more cool toned than I generally go to, but I just really, really love this color. And I'm gonna layer some other shades on top of this eventually, which will kind of warm up the whole look. I've used a warmer tone in the crease too. And I'm just packing it on. Doesn't matter, you know, if you start in the inner corner, in the middle, or whatever. I'm just packing it on the whole mobile lid, as they say, and then making sure, using kind of the tip of the brush to go all the way into that socket line, so that you don't really have any gaps, and it blends all the way in to that first shade you put in your crease. And use the tip of the brush to really get it into that socket. Okay, so if you don't like shimmer shades, then I would go bottom row, third one from the right. I'm holding this upside down. I would use this in the crease with a very light hand. Focus for me, please. But I like shimmer. So I'm gonna actually do the one above it, which has some shimmer to it. And if it's too much shimmer, we can always go back in with that matte color. I'm using a Sedona lace brush. It's EB09. It's the same as a MAC 217, a Sigma, I think it's called, what is the Sigma version? An E25. I have a million versions of this. I'm just stamping it. Make the brush do the work. So tap it off a little bit, stamp it in that corner. You can feel the dent in the eye socket there, and then work it up, and then pull it across a little bit as well. Just a little bit, very, very light. I'm holding the brush a little farther back. I'm not, you know, choking up on it really close to the ferrule. Come on, autofocus. I'm pulling it back a little bit, so there's not as much pressure, and just really light little circles, and then pulling it up. Just follow the natural socket line. Let your anatomy help you out a little bit. And I'm just pulling it not too far in. That's it. I'm gonna do the same to the other eye. Be right back. I am going to take a clean blending brush. Again, this is a really old one from Walmart of all places, and I'm just gonna go along the edges here just to make sure everything's kind of blended in. It really doesn't need it. It's sort of just habit. And then I'm gonna take a pencil brush. I don't even know where this one is from. I think, oh yeah, it's a Clinique one. And I'm gonna take that original shade that was on the top row, third one in, and I'm gonna run it underneath my eye, just to start tying it all together. Just to darken out that outer corner, I'm actually gonna use that matte brown I showed you earlier. It's the bottom row, third from the right. And I'm just gonna gently, just a little bit on the outer corner, just a little bit, just add a little definition. Now the one thing this palette does not have to make it a perfect standalone palette, it does not have a matte or satin tone cream, like a brow bone kind of shade. So I took my trusty Wet n Wild Brulee single, and I'm just gonna use that on the brow bone. And this is how you can clean up your edges. Just use your fluffy brush and kind of do it around the corner there, like that. Let's just throw on some eyeliner and mascara and let's see how it all looks. I might add a little more on the lid to lighten it up a little bit. I might change this lid shade out, but sometimes it all comes together once you add eyeliner and mascara. So let's do the eyeliner. This is a very simple, kind of low-key look. So for eyeliner, I'm just slapping on a basic brown matte eyeliner. Nothing special, and you know my trick, I hold it sideways, I start in the inner corner, and I just drag it along the lash line. I'm gonna curl with my trusty Shu Uemura lash curlers. The gold is limited edition, but the actual curlers are not. They normally come in silver. I think I got these gold ones on a Black Friday deal a few years back. My favorite of late, the Givenchy, it has a fancy name, but it's basically the mascara primer or eyelash primer. And yes, it is in pink. I just find that it is a really great way to separate your lashes, and I find that it takes any mascara and makes it far more smudge proof, almost water resistant, I would say, and helps me especially with the bottom lashes. I have almost none to speak of. Really makes them pop out and make it look like I have lashes on the bottom. Okay, when I picked up this lipstick, or lip stain, I don't know what you would call it. I also picked up this mascara on the recommendation of from Makeup by Tiffany D. Not that she personally recommended it to me, but I watch her videos too, and she's been recommending this. It's by Sephora brand, and it's the Lash Craft Big Volume Extreme. I've used this once, and I have no opinion yet, so I'm going to give it a try. The wand looks like that. I'm going to start with the bottom lashes. They look nice. Let's try the top. Nice. I think I waited too long in between putting on the primer because the primer is a little dry. This is not the most wet mascara from the get-go, so I'm a little concerned with what's going to happen as this dries. I've not found anything that I love as much as my first tube of the It Cosmetics Superhero. I've heard the second tube was a bad batch, so I might go back and buy a third tube. So that is it. Obviously my hair is not down, so I think it's a very soft, very easily wearable look. I didn't go crazy and use like 7 different colors. I think I used the transition shade, outer, and 3. Well, and then the brow bone from Wet n Wild. So technically 4 colors. That's probably one of the simplest tutorials on the internet. Now, if you wanted to, I was debating taking there's 2 more colors I was thinking about using. So I could take this one, it's the 3rd one down, and what I was going to do is just pop a little bit on my finger and just pop that in the middle of the lid just to kind of brighten the middle of the lid up a little bit. It's really subtle. And then I was also thinking of taking the first shade, very first top, and then popping a little tiny bit in the inner corner, just a little bit as an inner highlight. Let me blend that out a little bit. Let me take my hair down so you can see the full look. Hang on. Hair's down. We're going to pretend like it actually looks good. Like I mentioned earlier, 100% humidity, and I'm getting my hair done actually tomorrow. So here's the final look. Let me know if you have this palette, if you want to see anything else from this or any other kind of tutorials from anything else. I'm starting to get back into just doing from some tutorials. It's purely self-indulgent, but I'm having fun just playing with makeup on YouTube in front of a camera. So let me know if you enjoy these. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really have fun hanging out with you virtually. I wish you were actually really here and we can play with makeup together, but this is the next best thing. I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.